A Saturday Night Live writer has been suspended indefinitely after she tweeted a joke during Donald Trump's inauguration that included Barron Trump. Now, that is Donald Trump's 10-year-old son, and I will agree that the tweet was in bad taste. And so let me tell you what it said, and then we'll go ahead and give you the details on what occurred afterwards. So apparently the tweet said, Barron will be the country's first homeschool shooter, okay? It was tweeted by Katie Rich, and immediately after she tweeted it, she got a ton of criticism. So she not only deleted the tweet, she deactivated her account. Now, after that happened, SNL announced that she was suspended indefinitely. And after that, she reactivated her Twitter account and issued an apology. She wrote, "I sincerely apologize for the insensitive tweet. I deeply regret my actions and offensive words. It was inexcusable, and I'm so sorry." Okay, so look, there's a difference between a joke and a serious statement. And look, I think that her joke was in poor taste, and I think she realizes that as well, and I'm happy that she apologized. You shouldn't go after, first of all, you shouldn't joke about school shootings, especially right now, because it's a super risky topic and a very sensitive topic. But I just think that Barron Trump, as a 10-year-old kid, should be off limits. Like, just, leave it alone. Okay, now at the same time, though, I find it interesting that in one case we had a joke, which was terrible, and you had an apology afterwards. And then in another case, you have a presidential candidate who openly defames huge populations of people and then gets elected as president of the United States. So, for instance, his statement about Mexicans being criminals and rapists was not a joke. That was a serious statement that he made that was not, grounded in any fact whatsoever. And then you have an SNL writer who obviously writes comedy and meant for that to be a joke, and that's it. We want her fired! We want her fired! Let's destroy her life. So look, again, what she tweeted was wrong. But I find it very interesting that the same individuals who said, oh my God, political correctness has run amok, and I'm tired of liberals telling me what I can and can't say. I'm tired of the language police, right? But they get their feelings hurt so easily. Like Donald Trump, he makes all these strong statements about people. But you say one negative thing about him, and he loses his shit, like, regularly.
Yeah, he did here, too. Here, let's do his fun tweet. He says, NBC News is bad, but Saturday Night Live is the worst of NBC. Not funny. Cast is terrible. Always a complete hit job. Really bad television. God, for God's sake, you're the president now. Jesus, man. Now, I know that was before the inauguration, but he was president-elect. And he can't take it when Saturday Night Live makes fun of him. All right, so here's my 2 cents on this. First off, it's a joke about a homeschool shooter because, of course, you don't have that kind of thing, and then he would be shooting inside the home because he's frustrated with Trump. Like, I have to explain this to people, like, because they don't, like, because right-wingers, their idea of a joke is like, oh, yeah, I got a good one. Obama's black. Okay, that's not a joke. Okay, so what she did was a joke, and she is a comedian. Now, nonetheless, it's a 10-year-old. You got to lay off the 10-year-old. You can't do it, right? So I hate being the joke police, but it's in the news. We talk about it. I don't like it with right-wingers. I don't like it with left-wingers. She's not a politician. We did a story earlier today about a politician who was joking around about all the women who went to the Women's March, but he represents women. He's in a public office. She's a comedian who made a joke. So, okay, but nonetheless, not the right thing to do. She should have thought of it better, and she knows it. That's why she obliterated her Twitter account. You know you've made a mistake when the last thing you hear on Twitter is,
I regret it. I'm sorry. You're saying I'm sorry. That was just my mistake and my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, so, and I think they did the right things, and I think after a while they should bring her back. Okay, it's fine, suspension, and then yada yada. Okay, and if it was a conservative who was a comedian who actually made a funny joke, that would be record breaking, but the same things would apply, right? In terms of Trump, you're so right, Anna. Remember, he's the guy who said, I grabbed them by the pussy, and since I'm famous, they let me get away with it. And all those right-wingers were like, yeah, of course, man. That's just some locker room talk. He's only going to be the most powerful man on earth. It's not a big deal. Oh, my God, a comedian made a joke. They made a joke. I'm so offended. Which one is it, Snowflake? Which one is it? You know who's going to stop Trump, stop the establishment, stop the corruption? You are. You help us hire new investigative reporters, and we will unleash it on them. tytnetwork.com/go. Let's build the best journalism team in America.